class. We're here to improve our English and develop confidence by speaking with each other. So don't worry if you make any mistakes. Nobody is perfect. Nobody's going to correct you, but if you have any doubt, you can say, and we'll help each other, okay? Amazing, thank you. So let's split the rooms in two so we can talk a little bit better. So somebody left? Okay. I just sent you the invite, guys. Bye-bye, see you later. Okay. So today will be the three of us, girls. So let's begin. Question number one, Bruna. In your opinion, what are some benefits of talking to strangers? How can it enrich our lives and broaden our perspectives?
By talking to strangers, we can get different points of view, learn about new cultures and types of people. And we are social beings, so it's healthy to talk with people. And we might come across to some good ideas, knowledge that we didn't have. So it's really good to talk to strangers.
Do you agree with her, Belle?
Yeah, sure. So I'm sorry, it's my connection, but I could listen your answer, Bruna. So I totally agree with you. And can you listen? Okay, guys.
Yeah.
Maybe my connection is frozen sometimes, but yeah, I totally agree with you, Bruna. It's when you have the opportunity to have a conversation with a stranger, and you can understand another point of view, yeah, and you can share some experience, and I think it's really good for us, and I think it's the main benefits, yeah, to have a good conversation, and because sometimes it's not possible to live a lot of experience in our life, yeah, and it's a good moment for share that different point of view or understand another point of view. But it's hard because when you have the conversation with a stranger, it's just in the first time, yeah. Because after that, when you have a deep conversation, we start to know that person. So it's my opinion, but I think it's really good. But you need to trust a little in that person and have some to be polite or try don't to start with a controversial subject, yeah, because you don't know about anything about the other person or your reactions or your point of view. So, but it's a good opportunity to.
Very nice. Yeah, that's true. As you said, it's only a stranger for the first time we talk to them. Like here on TNT, for example, we can say we talk to strangers every week or every day, because every day I'm in immersion. I can know a few people. I know you, I know Wanda, but Bruna, for example, for me, it's the first time I talk to her, so she's a stranger. But the next time I'll be here, she won't be a stranger anymore. And that's very interesting. But I guess for me, it depends on the context. For example, here, I know what we're gonna talk about. I know the main point, but I'm talking to strangers. But in other perspective, in other moment of my life, I can talk to strangers without having anything in common. So I guess it's a little bit more difficult. But here I already feel comfortable knowing that every immersion, I'm gonna talk to somebody new. I'm gonna meet new people, because when we talk to strangers, we don't know where the conversation is going. We never know. But when I talk to people that I know, I kind of know what the conversation is going. I kind of know what can I say, or it's best for me to hold back. So that's very nice because improves our ability to read other people, to make the conversation comfortable for everybody. Yeah, right? So, Belle, how do you usually break the ice when you meet new people? Do you have any favorite conversation starter, like how's the
Mm,
weather?
yeah, something like that. But depends on the situation. Yeah. And I try before start a conversation, I try looking for all the other informations like a body language or the situation, yeah, about something. And I'm a shy person. I normally don't start a conversation, but I try. Yeah, I don't know, but normally, for example, in the quitting or waiting the something, I start to the conversation talk about the weather or about general subject. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's all
yeah,
the time. It's something like that. I don't have the a technique to start a conversation. I think it's need to be natural. Yeah, and depend of the situation sometimes.
yeah. I'm also shy. I have some difficulty to start conversations, but when people come to me and they start talking, I can make the conversation flow. I can make a good dialogue, but to be a starter of the conversation, for me, it's very hard because I feel sometimes that I'm bothering the other person. I don't know if the other person wants to talk to a stranger. So I get a little uncomfortable. So, Bruna, you're in college, right?
Yes.
How do you feel about meeting a lot of strangers and you have to make new friendship? Do you have a
Uh,
conversation starter to break the
I'm
ice?
terrible. I'm terrible at it. I usually don't know how to break the ice. I'm very bad at small talk. So I'm the same. If people come to me and talk, I can talk to them, but starting the conversation is really, really hard for me. But usually I see the context we are in and try to find common things to talk about. But usually I'm terrible, really bad.
Yeah, it can be very hard for a lot of people. I guess there's a stereotype for people who work with tech that they're very shy. I don't believe it's true because it depends. There are a lot of areas, people who work with so many different things, they're also shy. But the friends that I have who work with tech, most of them, they're very shy as well. So am I. But it's nice to be here on TNT as a host and as a talker, for example, because even though we're strangers to each other, I do feel that I'm in a safe space where I can make mistakes, where I can have small talks, where I can read the question. It's very nice to feel that the other people, they're open to hear you, to pay attention in what you're saying. We stop here an hour of our days to listen to strangers, to talk to each other. So that's very nice. So number 3, Bruna, have you ever struck up a conversation with a stranger that led to a meaningful friendship or a valuable connection?
Yes, my relationship with my best friend started like this. We were actually from the same class at school, but we never talked to each other. Oh, just a moment. I'll have to close the camera. Um, but when we were at physical education class, for some reason, I started to talk to her, and we started to talk about a TV show that we both liked. And after that, every physical education class, we met and talked about the TV show. And with the time, we started to talk about other things. It became really close. And 10 years later, we're still here as best friends. So we started with a really simple talk about a TV show. And now we are really, really good friends.
Wow, very nice, 10 years.
Yes.
So you use the TV show as an icebreaker.
Yeah, that was it.
So who did start the conversation? You or her? Or him? I
I
don't
don't
know.
remember. I really don't remember.
Nice, very nice. What about you, Belle? Do you have an experience like that?
Yeah, it's a long time, Bruna, but I don't have any experience or I didn't remember some experience like that because yeah, I needed change or move for another state. So nowadays I don't have any contact daily with my friends or some connection. I just have contact with my coworkers and my family. So, but I think here in TNT, I start to have a conversation and the first time with a stranger, but sometimes I feel I know the person because here we have a different topics to talk, yeah. And sometimes I didn't have the same opportunity to talk with my friends about a lot of things, or the person don't have patience to enjoy a conversation like that, yeah. Sometimes nowadays I think maybe the relationship like a friends, it's just like to do something, go out, and but not nothing like have a good conversation or spend time with conversations like here, yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think the only, yeah, I have one experience, but I don't have that person at my life in the moment, but was very important at my life because for enjoy at my work, I need to do a test, yeah, like a test exam. And so for 3 times, I have the same person in 3 years at the same room to do the test because we have the same. It's not the same name, but start with the same letter. Yeah, letter. So yeah, so because of that, we have a little connection about that and talk about the exams and studies. But nowadays, we don't have any contact more, but was a kind of experience. I remember I start the conversation and was something about the test or the questions about the test. But there is a purpose, yeah, for start that conversation.
Yeah, yeah, very nice. So, where are you from, Belle?
I'm from Fortaleza, but I live in Salvador almost
Um,
8 years. Yeah,
8?
yeah, 8 years. I
Wow.
moved to work. Yeah, it's almost Baiana. I'm
Yeah, you're almost Baiana. So, I am from Goiânia, Goiás, and I live in Floripa since February. And just like you talked about, for me, it's been very important being here on TNT, talking to new people every day, every week, because I left all of my friends there. I left all of my family. So now I work remotely. So I spend all day long inside my house and I only go out mostly on weekends. So it's pretty hard to make new friendship. And here it's very nice because just like you said, for example, we have many good friends, but we it's not very common, for example, to talk about simple or deep stuff like the questions we have here with our friends. Because most of the times I talk with my friends about things that they're going on my life or in my friend's life. So here on TNT, it's nice because I have a few people that I feel pretty close because I know a lot about that people because of the questions here, because of the conversations that we have every week. So it's nice because it left a point where there are a bunch of strangers to a point where it's a real community where we connect to each other. So that's it. Oh, her connection got
Yeah.
her out. That's so bad. Let me see. Yeah, she got out. I don't know if she's coming back, but if she is, I'll accept her. So let's continue. Both of us.
Yeah.
It's like a podcast here, just the two of us. Private conversation. So where were you? Let's see, Bruna.
Question
No.
4.
Yeah, question 4. So some people find it challenging to hit off with strangers. What advice would you give to someone who is shy or introvert to start conversation with new people? So you
So I'm
said
the one
you're
that
very
needs
shy.
advice. Oh, she came back.
Yeah. Hello,
But
Belle.
Hello, I'm
hello.
back. I'm sorry. My connection worse.
Don't worry.
But
So
So,
you're
to answer
very
the
shy.
question, yeah, I'm the one in need of advice. But if I can give some, is to find something in common that you both like and talk about it. But yeah, I actually am the one that needs advice.
Yeah, so in college, for example, I guess there are a lot of common stuff with the new colleagues to talk about. Like for me, when I was in college, a good icebreaker that I used to have is to ask if somebody understood what the teacher was saying that that kind of subject is very hard, asking for help, or I don't know, saying if she likes stuff about the class that it's very common. So it's nice because the same time we can make new friendships, we can have new people to help us and help new people with their difficulties because it's college. We won't know everything. And we will understand a few things that we can help, and we will need help from the others. So we have to make that change of knowledge. So, Belle, are you there? Can you hear us? No? Oh, I guess you can hear us. That's very bad.
Oh, again.
Yeah, again. For me, I already said that I consider myself very shy. To start a conversation, for me, it's very hard because I can feel sometimes I'm bothering the other person. But like you said,
Mhm.
I try to find new stuff in common. And it's very important to pay attention. If the person is talking to someone else, for example, I pay attention in what the person is saying, in the gestures, the nonverbal language, in the expressions, and the little things that we can use to as an icebreaker to start a conversation. For example, I really like pets. I have a little dog. So it's easy for me to start a conversation with other people random people on the street when I'm walking with my dog. Alone, I never do. When I'm alone, I never start a conversation. But when I have my dog, a lot of people stop me to say, "Oh, what's the name of your dog? That's so cute." And I also do with people who are walking with their dogs. So that's very nice because, as you said, we're social beings. So talk to other people. We have to connect
Yeah.
because, or else it would be very lonely to live
Yes.
the life without sharing with anyone,
I
right?
agree.
So, next question, number 5. Do you think there are culture differences in how people approach talking to strangers? How might culture norms influence social interactions in this context? For example, do you think the Japanese and the Brazilians approach strangers in the same way, or do you think it's different because of the culture?
Definitely different.
Yeah,
Brazilians are more open and friendly towards people. We like to be close to each other. Some people are really touchy. And Japanese are way different. They are more distant and they value the space even more than we do.
yeah,
And they there are some difference in how you can approach other people. For example, they bow to each other, and we like to hug a lot, and they usually don't do that. So there are a lot of culture difference than the influence in the way that we talk to people.
yeah, that's it. You said an important thing. We like to touch a lot. For example, when I going to meet somebody new, for example, we have it's kind of a norm from the culture. You make 2 kisses on the cheek and or you can shake hands.
Yeah,
But the little I know about the culture, the Japanese culture, they don't touch when they meet each other. They just
yeah.
lean lean backwards and front. And one other thing that I'd like to share, I am from Goiás and I'm living in Santa Catarina. When I arrived here, I felt a lot of difference in the way people connect to each other, talk to each other, and talk to strangers. Because I feel here people is a bit more distant and as the Japanese you said, but in very different way. But they value more the personal space. And back in Goiás, when I didn't know somebody, it was very easy to start a conversation and make new friendship because I felt like in different spaces, like in a show, like in college, in a bar, uh, whatever, in any space. I felt like people were more open to listen to you, to know you. And here I feel like they're not very interested to make new friends or to start a conversation. They're not unpolite, but it's very different the way they approach each other. And that's very nice because Brazil is such a big country and
Yes.
we have those differences because in Fortaleza can be in a way, in Santa Catarina another way. Where are you from? Sorry.
Brasilia.
In Brasilia is a different way as well.
Yeah.
So it's very nice to watch these differences.
Yeah. Here in Brasilia, I feel like people is a little bit cold.
Yeah, me too.
Uh,
I agree
I
with
heard
you.
for some people from different places, when they come here, they find it really strange because they are used to people more friendly with each other. And here, yeah, like
Yeah,
I feel it's called, for example, to talk to our neighbors. I don't even know the name of my neighbors, so we are distant from each other, sadly.
do you think you're as distant as them, or do you think you're more friendly, even though you're shy, because they're
Mm.
different things?
When people talk to me, I'm friendly, but I don't usually go to people to talk. So I'm kind of distant from people.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm also shy, but I don't feel like I'm distant because, as I said, when somebody approaches me to start a conversation, I can be very friendly. But on the other hand, there are moments where I'm in a place where I just want to be alone. I don't wanna company. So it happened a few times where I went to the park and I was sad, I in a bad day, and I just want to be alone with my thoughts. And the guy approached me to start a conversation to talk. He was very polite, friendly, but I had to say to him, "Thanks very much for being here, but I just want to be alone today." And oh, sorry to bother you. No, that's okay, but I just want to be alone right now. Because
Yeah.
I guess it's not all of the times you want to talk with somebody,
Mhm.
even though in your house,
Yeah,
sometimes you don't want to talk to your family, you just want to be quiet in your room. So
definitely.
we have to read the context. It's a bit
Yeah,
complex, but to respect the other person's space.
yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So can you think of situations where talking to strangers might not be appropriate or advisable? How can we distinguish between a friendly conversation?
Mm. In potentially unsafe places, talking to strangers
Yeah.
can be dangerous. In places where you have to be quiet, for example, in funerals, for example, people know. Um, and we have to pay attention to their body language if they want to talk or not. If we are already talking to them and we see that they are uncomfortable, we need to take a step back. And
Yeah.
yeah, we have to pay attention the details of the context and the person itself.
Yeah. What would be a potentially dangerous situation for you?
Mm, bus station at night, for example.
Great example. Great
Yeah,
example.
really dangerous.
Yeah. Yeah, really dangerous. I
Yeah,
don't like to remember everything that I went through on bus stations at night. I
yeah.
used to work on the weekends and on the holidays exclusively, and
Mm,
I got out of work like 10:30 p.m. and
mm.
sometimes I was in the terminal like 11:30 on a Saturday, on a Sunday,
Oh my
on a
God.
holiday. So I was very afraid because there were very few people in the bus station,
Mm,
and the ones that were there, they didn't look very friendly for me.
mm,
There were some kind of shady and might be dangerous people.
mm.
And yeah, we have to be very, very careful
Yeah,
about that. Because at the same
definitely.
time I was there, I was holding my backpack, I was a bit scared. I could see some other people, mostly women, that they were also like watching everything to
Mm,
pay
mm,
attention and be careful. And there were other people that they're very suspicious, I can say. Yeah. So in a friendly conversation, how can you distinguish a friendly conversation and intrusive behavior? You're muted. Now I
Usually
can hear
by
you.
usually by the body language, their tone of voice,
Yes.
how they act around me, the way they act in general, or if they start talking less than they were before, or with short answers, then I can
Yes.
I can usually see the okay, stop.
Yeah, great points. If you're talking to someone and it reaches a point where the person is just talking small words like yes, no, I don't
Mm-hmm.
know this person
Yeah.
doesn't want to be talking with you, so you have to pay attention. And the tone of the voice, it's very important.
Mm-hmm.
Very important
Definitely.
because uh, sometimes it is not intentional, but for example, uh, during the week at 11 p.m., for example, there are very few times that I can be on the street, very, very rare during
Mm-hmm.
the week this time. But for example, I'm not friendly at this time to start a conversation. So the tone of my voice can be lower and slower because I'm tired,
Mm-hmm.
and it can make kind of small words, a small monologue because I also don't wanna talk. And most of the times I can see people who are friendly, who wants to engage a conversation. There are people who talk with their hands, with their body. So
Yeah.
it's easy to see they're open to continue the conversation because they're friendly.
Mm-hmm.
And the points that I see with people, they're like an intrusive talk. They keep their body more rigid. I don't know,
Yeah.
and they look at you in a strange way where you don't feel comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
So there's a lot of small signs that you can read to understand if they say,
Mm-hmm.
Of course, you can make mistakes, we're humans, but I
Yeah.
guess the signs are there, and we always have to pay attention because there are people that they're not well intentioned. So you
Mm-hmm.
can, one thing that I like a lot is talk while I'm looking in your eyes, for example, in person, because
Mm-hmm.
here it's very hard.
Yeah.
But in person, it's for me, it says a lot about the person. It says a lot about the conversation. And when the other person is comfortable, the person will look back into your eyes, for example.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
it can not only be about the conversation, but maybe the person is uncomfortable about something else. And the person will start looking to the other sides and
Yeah.
just maybe not try to make eye contact.
Yeah, I agree.
Do you talk to other people looking in the eyes?
I do. I
Yeah,
feel it's strange to talk to someone by looking somewhere else.
yeah, yeah, me too. Because it says a lot like my focus is you. I'm talking to you. So I
Yeah.
have to pay attention in the every little stuff. So I look in your eyes for you to make sure that we're here talking to each other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Nice. So number 7. How has technology, particularly social media, influenced the way we interact with strangers? Are there pros and cons to these virtual interactions?
Well, it's way easier to talk to people nowadays because of technology and social
Yeah.
media. We can talk to someone on the other side of the world as easily as we can talk to someone that lives near us. And it's helpful in a lot of kind of situations. For example, now we are talking through technology because of technology, and it makes life a lot easier. We can feel comfortable to approach someone without worrying for a lot of things. For example, the dangerous places that we talked about, we can feel comfortable to talk to someone, and we don't need to expose ourselves as much as we do when we're talking to each other personally. But social media can also make relationships really shallow. People don't connect as much as they do person to person. And there are things like cyberbullying, social isolation, for example, and technology helps, but it can also be really dangerous and bad for people. It depends on the way that we use it.
Yeah, that's it. It's just a tool. So it's
Yeah.
not bad or it's not good. It can be either of them, and it can be both of them, depending on how we use it
Yeah.
and the intentions. So it's very nice. So would you say that for you it's easier to keep a long conversation more on personally or on social media, for example? It can be both strangers and your friends, for example. For you, which one do you feel more comfortable to keep long conversations?
Even though I'm shy, I actually prefer talk to someone personally, because, for example, when we're talking through text, we don't know the tone of voice, the facial expressions of the person. They don't know ours. So it can be a little bit difficult. When we are close to someone, we can see through text how they are saying something.
Yeah.
But with strangers, it's really hard. So I actually prefer talk personally, person to person, and not through the internet. But in some contexts, it's easier to talk to someone through the internet. For example, when I hate calling to someone. I
Me
hate it.
too. Me
Oh,
too. It's terrible.
it's terrible. So if I can't send a message, it's perfect. It's way better for me. So yeah, I prefer personally, but sometimes the internet it's really helpful.
Yeah, and as you said, for example, with my closest friends, by even one message, I can say there's something wrong with my friend
Yeah.
because of one message. There is no tone of voice, but when we talk to someone a lot, we start to know the how the people write. So how the people write is like a tone of voice for the internet. So
Yeah.
we pay attention a lot in how they write. Like in person, I can write pretty short answers when I don't feel like talking a lot, or I can develop really long thoughts and I can write really long messages when I want to talk. So
Yeah.
we learn a lot by the context on how to deal, but it's very dangerous. We don't know the other
Yeah.
person. It's very hard.
Exactly.
So, and with uncomfortable conversation, for example, if you were in person versus if you were in social media talking to someone, which one do you feel more? Which one do you think it's easier to get out of that place? Okay, I'm leaving. I don't want to be here. Because in by text, for example, in social media, there are some situations that we can just stop answering. If it's a dangerous situation, for example, you can block the person, you can stop answering. But there are others that they're pretty uncomfortable, but you can't just vanish. You can't just, okay, I won't answer you. Which one do you think?
It's easier through social media, definitely, because especially if we are just by text, we can take a time to breathe and think of what you're going to say and make up an excuse to stop talking
Yes.
to the person. But if we are in person, we can do that. The person will see on our face that they're
We see the
uncomfortable.
lie.
Yeah. And we can just say, okay, bye, and leave.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
social media helps this way.
yeah. It helps a lot for me, for example, why when I'm in a place not entirely uncomfortable, but when I want to end the conversation, for example, I just gotta say, okay, I'm going to sleep, bye, and I don't have to wait the person to say, oh, please stay more, just a
Yeah.
minute. When I don't feel like it, I just, okay, bye, and I disappear. But I said bye.
Yeah.
I told you I was going. And I can say, oh, okay, I have to make lunch. I just got visit here in my house. I have to walk my dog. I can make any excuse.
Yeah.
It's easier because the other person won't know. They might probably know your intentions, but
Yeah.
it's, I don't know, it's more valid
Mm-hmm.
because, like you said, when you're in person, it's hard. The person will look at you and say, really?
Yeah.
Really? You gotta go. Okay, bye. Yeah, it's harder.
Yeah.
Ah, so just a sec, let me see how our colleagues are. Okay, they're still talking. I'll bring them back in 5 minutes, okay?
Okay.
Oops. I was just shouting off with them in caps lock. And there's other stuff we can shout with each other by texting, right?
Yes.
I'm very, my mother, when she talks with me, she has that, I forgot the word, that habit of speaking with me in caps lock when she really wants to know something, but it bothers me a lot, like,
Yeah.
uh, okay, how are you? And I feel like
Yeah.
she's shouting off me with me, and did you have lunch? Are you okay? And I say, oh, please don't shout with me. I'm right here. Please don't. I
Yeah.
feel uncomfortable. I don't know about
Same.
you, but I'm very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So I try to okay, I'm here. Why are you talking like this?
Yes. Even though we know they aren't shouting,
Yeah, but it
we
feels
really
like
like
it.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. I really remember her because we live in different cities now, but
Mhm.
I really remember when we were living together, the tone of the voice that she used to ask me the same thing. I know that she's not yelling at me. I know that
Yeah.
she's not fighting, and she's just being polite and worried, for example. Most of the time she's
Mhm.
just worried with my well-being, but I don't know. It makes me feel bad.
Yeah, it's
It's crazy.
uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's uncomfortable, very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So we have time for one more question.
Okay.
How number 8? Let me see. Yeah, number 8. Do you believe that talking to strangers can enhance empathy and understanding between different social or cultural groups?
Yes, definitely. Because we see different types of people, different ways of expressing yourself, and different cultures and points of views. And when people share their experiences, we see how unique they are, and sometimes we can put ourselves in their places. So yeah, it definitely makes us more empathetic about people. Yeah.
But back in those situations that we were talking about, like in personally and on social media, on internet, for example, which one do you think it's easier to keep a calm and an empathic conversation where we can genuinely learn with each other? Do you think personally it's easier or on internet, for example?
I think in person, because
Why?
through the internet we are always distracted by a lot of things at the same time. So even though we are talking to someone, we may be doing another thing and we aren't paying close attention to the person. So I think in person it's easier to do this.
That's very nice, because we can't be empathetic with someone if we're not listening what the person is saying, if we're not carefully paying attention. And there's other point that I see on internet, that it appears that people feel more comfortable to say bad stuff about strangers for them on internet, like influencers, for example. There are a lot of hate comments on their profile, and it's always mostly the same person, the same people who always go to every photo or video and says bad stuff about the people. I don't know how they can, I don't know, because it's a person. It's not because you can't see the person or you can't have a conversation that the person won't feel bad about it. That it's very strange how people feel comfortable to make others uncomfortable. For me, it's crazy.
I really don't understand haters.
Yeah.
I really don't. It can be so harmful.
Yeah, it's very harmful, because it's like you don't have to like everybody, okay? But if you don't like someone or something, you get out of that situation. Because if nobody's making any harm to you or saying any bad stuff, you just, okay, I don't want to see this anymore. I see anything else. Let's see next. You don't have to say bad stuff. It's very sad. Very sad. Because we're all people, even though we are online, and people, they're crazy. I just calling our colleagues back because we have 5 minutes.
Okay.
So let's see. So are you active online on social media, even with people that you like or videos that you like? Do you comment a lot and says bad or good stuff?
I usually don't comment a lot on things. I usually just, if I like something, I just like or leave.
Yeah, that's it. Hello, guys. Welcome back.
Hello.
Hello.
So we had our colleague Belle here with us, but her connection was very bad and she left, unfortunately. But how was the conversation in the other room?
It was a really good conversation in the other room. We get fun, we know many suggestions, many things. We open our mind. Yeah, a really good conversation and a really good subject. Thank you.
Nice. Alexandre, did you have fun with the girls?
Yes, we talk a lot about how can we get around another country, have conversation, ask for something, make friends. And I'm back from Vancouver a few days from there, and I could face a lot of situations. We talk here in Vancouver. We talk to strangers 24/7 every day. Very good.
In another language.
Yeah, simple conversation, not so rich, only simple conversation. Yeah.
That's very nice. It's nice because a simple topic, a simple subject can make so many different ways, because we were talking about the same topic, but we had a very different conversation here than you guys. Very nice. Swelling, what did you think about the subject?
It was amazing. In the other room, we talk a lot, and the conversation was so good because I improved my vocabulary today because I didn't know about the struck up. I didn't know this word. I'm learning now. Né? I improved my vocabulary because we I don't know how to say that in English. Nós ficamos perdidos, né, com relação a essa pergunta, mas depois a gente conseguiu entender legal. And that's it.
Very nice. We're trying to bring new expressions between the topics, because that's, as you said, for example, you didn't know, but you ended up talking about this because it's about the context. Even though you don't know an expression or a word, for example, it can take a while for understand, or else you can just read and say, okay, I don't know this, but by the context, by the question, I think I know what it means. So that's very nice. Guys, I just sent the survey link here for you. Please rate the immersion. It's very, very important for us. And I want to thank you all for being here. I had a lot of fun with you. It was very nice to meet you guys again. And I want to invite you for my immersion tomorrow, 7 p.m. We'll talk about Orkut. It's going to be very fun. And thanks for being here, guys. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. I loved it.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.